Welcome viewers. So you had asked me to make a video on how I do the whole shareholding analysis, the mutual fund analysis and all using one of the tools available. So what I have done is the tool is nothing but it's a tool called Trendlyne, and I use Trendlyne heavily. I know it's not one of the most famous tools, but I believe it is quite useful. And what I have done in this video is I have tried to identify 10 unique features which Trendline provides to make the overall fundamental investing and research easier. And for this video, what we'll do, we'll not cover all 10, we will cover only 5 videos, and in case only 5 of the features. And in case you feel you like the video and you want to know more about rest 5 of the features, how to do in Trendline, just let me know, and I will create a video. So do type yes if you want me to create a video. So what we are going to do is, first, as you requested, I will show you how to use Trendline to perform shareholding analysis, which includes the overall shareholding analysis, which includes the monthly mutual fund shareholding analysis, which includes the retail shareholding analysis, everything. Then there is something called delivery data analysis, and I will also highlight about all these. Some of these you may not know why it is useful in doing research. I will highlight that. Third is the valuation analysis, how to do valuation, and where Trendline comes little more handy compared to some of the other tools available. Fourth is the brokerage report, and fifth is deals and insider trades. So these are some of the features which we are going to see how to use Trendline to do that. And the next 5 are basically other features which I'm not covering in this video, but if you feel it's very useful for you, I will cover, which is portfolio result analysis, like how do you analyze the quarterly or the annual result of the portfolio of stocks you are holding, stock news tracking in more efficient manner, company filing tracking in a more efficient manner, the overall market result analysis, like the quarterly results and all, come how companies are doing, how sectors are doing, and then the backtesting feature, because Trendline has a lot of features, and I believe it has not been explored well. So let me know by typing yes if you want me to cover all this also in another video. And how we will do is, so we are going to analyze these first 5 features. So first I will give you analysis description, what this analysis means. Then I will tell you what is the use of doing this analysis in fundamental research. And third is how to do it using Trendline. That is the overall script and overall format we'll keep. So the first analysis is shareholding analysis, as you requested. And basically why it is important is because in the long run, and when I say long run, it's a 5+ year period. In long run, share prices go up or down purely on the performance of the business and earnings. But when it comes to short to medium term period, which could be even 3 month to 2 year period, share prices can go up or down because of other factors also, which is demand and supply of shares, which is means the buyers versus sellers, the float available in the market, like how many shares are being traded, the kind of investors which are there, whether it's a pure retail driven share or pure institutional driven share, and a lot of things. So all these things, they do have impact on the share price, and hence it is important to analyze the shareholding data, where we can find if there is any kind of major increase or decrease happening in the institutional holding, or if there is a major increase or decrease in the promoter holding. Like promoter buying is a good sign because he might be finding value. Of course, it depends on the quantum of buying, and also major increase or decrease in the retail shareholding. So those of you who follow me through my old blogs, who follow me on Twitter, you would know that how I have tried to highlight how retail shareholding, not about every small buy and sell, but some big shift in a given quarter, how it can help to identify a lot of things in terms of price movement. So this is the Trendline website, and you can see the name is trendline.com, and this is the kind of screen you'll get. I have logged in through my ID. So first we wanted to know about how to do shareholding data and mutual fund data analysis. So let me put it for ages, because that is where I showed you this video. And one good thing is it just looks like it's slowly picking up, the demand is coming back. But if you look here, there are a lot of sections like financial, news, report, technical, and you have the shareholding. And in shareholding, you have 2 parts: shareholding data and mutual fund MF holding. So first I will click on shareholding. And when you click on shareholding itself, you get some idea that who is selling, who is buying. Then you have the current share distribution. Then you have the quarterly distribution of the promoter share trend. You have the quarterly distribution of mutual fund, FII, and what has happened recently in shareholding. And then when you come down, you see the quarter ending and you have a summary data which tells about summary of promoter, FII, DII. So here itself, you can get some trend, and you can see the DIIs have been continuously selling in ages. And in last 1 year, DII share has come down almost from 2.5% to 0.9%. And FII has been buying a bit, so that is there. So if you want to know in terms of institutional holding, you can see here that this is the current shareholding of the institutions, and you don't only get the percentage share, you get the count of share, and also you get the total number of shareholders. So when it comes to mutual fund who is holding 0.85% and this many share, it is through 5 different mutual fund entities. The interesting part is if you want to analyze that trend, so you go and history and against mutual funds, you click on this. So you get the complete history of mutual fund, and you can see here the same trend, how much they were holding and how the holding has decreased. Out of some 8 mutual fund houses, 3 are out and still 5 are remaining, and all of this. So you can do this for each of these entities which are coming here. And when it comes to retail data analysis, you can see a similar behavior. So this is exceeding 2 lakh rupees, but this is the typical retail shareholding, which is a 3.91%. And also you have almost 74,000 shareholders holding 13.91%. Again, when you click on the history, so you can see that retail shareholding has also decreased from March, almost 16%. This has come down to literally 14%, so 2% decrease. But here you are not able to see the count of shareholder, because many times when distribution happens, it is distributed to lots of people through small amount of share. So here you have seen the count for December is 74,000. If you want to know count for some previous quarter, let's say I want to know the count for June 2020. So you click on June 2020, go to public non-institutional, and you can see here 48,000. So even though the retail shareholding count has one increased from 48,000 to 72,000, the overall holding has decreased. And we know a lot of demat accounts have got open. So even the market itself, if you see the total accounts open, that might be the rate of progress could be more than this. But the last part, mutual fund holding, because these are quarterly data. So mutual fund data which is coming at a monthly level. And what interesting is happening is if you see what has happened in ages, this is October, November, December, January, February, because March data is not yet out. And you can see how many of the mutual funds are not doing anything, how many are adding, how many are selling. And this tells you month by mutual fund, how many shares were purchased, how many shares are held, and how many shares are being sold. So you can see there is a pressure, because in October funds were selling, in November funds were selling, in December funds were selling, and some big impact you can see of this selling here, and then literally sell stopped. But look what has happened in February month. There is a big buying which has happened from the mutual fund side. And if you look at the data, who is buying and who is selling. So again, this is the monthly data of all the mutual funds. So when you want to time the stock in terms of the demand supply, usually when the supply will be over and still there are buyers, the prices will stop falling. And if you look at ages, there has been one seller which has been ICICI Prudential, and looks to me that they are out, and the whole buying which has happened, the buying has happened through Quants Fund. So Quants Fund is purchasing in different of their schemes, and that is how it is going up. So this is how we analyze the mutual fund data. I don't know if you can export it. I have a paid version, so I can, but I'm not sure if in free version, you can, do that. But this is how you analyze the overall shareholding data in terms of shareholding percentage, in terms of count of people, count of mutual fund, count of entities, how you analyze monthly mutual fund data. So the next analysis is delivery share analysis. And what it means is basically delivery percentage. So every day in the market, a lot of shares get traded, and some of the shares are squared off on the same day and some are carried forward. So let's say if today 100 shares of Aegis got traded, it might happen that a lot of those trades were intraday. So out of 100, let's say 60 shares were intraday, where they were purchased and sold on the same day. But remaining 40 shares, somebody who purchased, he carried those positions. So somewhere it gives the impression that is not for intraday, it is for longer duration. It might be for 2 days, it might be for 20 days. But if the delivery percentage is higher, at least it can be told with some level of confidence that it is not only traders which are driving. And usually when very high volumes are made, those high volumes are made by institutions, and institutions, when they buy, they don't buy for trading. Of course, you have some high frequency trading firms, but most of the mutual funds or the PE funds, when they buy, they hold it for a longer duration. So if you have a very high volume share trading done with very high delivery percentage, it is sign that somebody big has got in on, he might be staying. So it's not like whenever there is a high delivery volume, every time it will lead to some positive news, but especially when stocks are bottoming out after correction, and then there are some big entities entering, and then there is a high delivery percentage, or even when stock are in kind of silent period, when there is nothing much happening on the price, the volatility is very low, and some big hand is slowly trying to corner the share, so every day is buying small quantities, and you will see the delivery volume is high. So whether you want to look for some kind of bottom formation or you want to look for some kind of strong technicals, delivery information is also useful. And not many sites they provide good delivery information. Like even if you see the trading view chart, you will not get the delivery volume, you'll only get the normal volume. So Trendlyne is something which gives the delivery volume data, and let us see how do we get it. So again, let us go back to our AGS example, and again, you have financials and technicals, you have this thing called delivery. And once you click on delivery, you get this chart here. And if you look at this chart, there are three things: NSE plus BSE traded volume, so your light pink, and then NSE plus BSE delivery volume. So your deep blue is the delivery volume, and the pink line is your delivery percentage line. And if let us see, this data is right now for NSE BSE, and this data is up to 1st of April, and maybe for last 2 months. And you can see some big volume bars have been made in between. Like if you see, this is a big volume day, and this day you had almost 15% of delivery, which is not big. And this is where you can take this data, you can export this data. It also give what is the percentage rise in delivery. And usually if you see the delivery, if it is more than 30% on very high volume days, it is decent. On a low volume days, many times when silent accumulation goes on, the delivery volume will be like 60, 65, 70%. So try to use this. So this is how you get delivery data information. The third feature is again related to shareholding, which is the deals and insider trade data. And the idea is, how do we quickly get all of this data, at one platform? And many times, when there are some big bulk deals happening, or when promoters, insiders, they are buying, sometimes it becomes a good indicator to look at the stock and why, so much of interest has come. So let us see how to analyze this in Trendlyne. So one important aspect is, if you look at the usual shareholding data, that is comes with a a lag of 15-20 days plus a quarter, because you get for the quarter. But these kind of bulk deal, block deal, and promoter insider trading, you get to know by the evening or within 1 or 2 days when it is reported to the exchange. So this is more real time. You don't need to wait, and if in those 2-3 months the prices are going up, here it is that way, it is more real time, where you still have a quick time to take your decisions. So I've just opened the the details for Vaibhav Global, and we know that Vaibhav Global has corrected a lot. From 1,000 rupees the stock was down to 400 rupee, and recently the promoter buying started. Now if you go in the deals section here, you have two things: bulk block deals and insider trading. So when you click on the bulk block deals, you get all the history of all the block deals which have happened. Whether it's a bulk deal, block deal, purchase, sell, when it happened, what was the average price, what was the quantity, and all of that. So this is how you get it. The other thing is, when you click on some of these names, you will get to know which all other companies this client has traded with. So that is another thing. And let me just go back and show you. And again, you can get data for last 100 rows, and you can see here you have the mutual funds doing block deal, bulk deal, and all of that right from 2018, 19, 17. You get all of this data. And again, in deals, when you click on the insider trading, then you get the insider trading data, some of the promoter group, and you can see here on 30th March promoters they purchased, on 29th March they have purchased. The quantity is very, very small, but this is the way you can track all of this. and there is somebody in the other category, it is more the employee stock option. So this is how you track. And what is important, it also highlights what is the mode of transaction, whether it is ESOP. So what is important is if there is a market purchase and sell which is happening, so you can track all of this data. The other interesting part of this is, if you see this screen, the screen is for Vaibhav Global, and all of these menus are for Vaibhav Global. But if you want to overall track in the market the insider trading data, you can go here and click at this top, insider trading data. And then if you give here in terms of stock group, you can apply many filters, whether you want to track Nifty 500, you want to track the insider trading and all, you want to track if it is disposal data, pledge data, and then the start date and the end date. And then you will get list of all the companies where these kind of insider trades are happening, whether there's a pledge happening, acquisition happening, disposal happening. So on a daily level, if you want to track some stocks where there's a lot of insider activity happening, or so one was at a stock level and this was at a market level. So this is how quickly you get all this data in all the format with quantity, pre-transaction, what percentage there. So you would like to look for where a lot of shares have got traded, significant amount of shares have got traded and all. And then you can use it in your research in terms of what is happening with the business. The fourth one is very, very useful, which is valuation analysis. And by valuation analysis, I don't mean to calculate the PE or the DCF. But what is important is many times, investors ask question that if I want to know what is the 10-year PE history of this company, or what is the 10-year price to sales history of the company, we don't have answers, and it takes a little bit of effort to build it. And many times companies are cyclic. If we understand the historic behavior of their, PE of the valuation, it gives a lot of hint. And even on screener, if you see, you get only one metric PE now, where you can draw the PE chart. But I will show you on how in Trendlyne you can do with multiple metrics. So let's go ahead and see that. So I'll take the same Vaibhav Global example, and let's go and search stock. Let's give Vaibhav Global, and we get Vaibhav Global here. And let's go now to the financials. So when you go to the financials, and let's go to financial ratios. So when you go to financial ratios, you have different kind of ratios. You have ROA, you have ROE, you have profitability, liquidity, and valuation. So when you click valuation, there are so many valuation metric you have. You have EV to sales, you have price to book value, you have EV per EBITDA. So there could be different valuation metrics. And actually we are doing a master session, super session on valuation analysis. It is going to be a good 5-6 hour session where we will talk about different kind of valuation techniques, very different use cases, how to value a growth business versus cyclic business. So because it's a very vast topic and many times I get queries on valuation, it's not easy to clarify. It's a big topic in itself. So the description to participate in the webinar is there in the detail in case you'd like to. But let us look at, let's say, look at the Vaibhav Global's market cap to sales valuation. And you can see these are the values. But what is interesting is you pick this chart and you plot it. There are multiple ways in which you get this valuation. So one is the actual price to sales valuation. And you can see you also get a trend. You also get these numbers. And you also get the average value of last 1 year, last 3 year, last 5 year, last 7 year, and all of that. So of course you are seeing a spike here because what has happened is one, the stock got very highly overvalued and and all. And second is if there is a change, you can see it is increasing, decreasing, and the same thing you can draw. So 7 years back, the stock was at almost 8 times market cap to sales, then 9, then 3, and off late, it went 29 times in FY21. And then the stock has fallen actually 60-70%. So you can take from 30, if you make it fall by 70%, this valuation, basically you lose almost 21. So it goes back to 9, which is historical valuation. So that is why I'm trying to highlight why valuation is important and why understanding valuation history is important. Like if we look at another metric like EV EBITDA. So this company, historically, this company has traded at a EV EBITDA between 18 to somewhere around 52. And right now there is a time when EV EBITDA went 214. Of course, we need to normalize the data, see if there is a spike, there is a COVID effect. But the idea is you get a fair understanding of, what is the range in which it moves, what is the minimum. If you see the stock got a support around 10 times EV EBITDA, which is a fairly decent value. And then when it corrected, it went to 29, 30, and this time it came to 17 in COVID crash. So you get some idea of what is a reasonable EV/EBITDA, and that helps. So, and this is not only for valuation metric. You can see their ROA history, like how the company ROA has done, and you can see ROA has also been cyclic from 3% to 9%, 9% to 3%, 3% to again 19%. So this should make you asking question why the ROA is not uniform, why it is not sustainable, why it is fluctuating. So whenever you analyze businesses, try to do this kind of analysis, and always when we look through a visual, all of this becomes much easier to interpret and understand. So this was regarding the valuation analysis feature. And the last and the most important is brokerage report, because we all look for brokerage report not for share price, buy and sell target. And my suggestion would be never read these brokerage reports from a buy and sell target, but try to read from understanding of the business, if it helps you to understand the business and the numbers. And there are a few brokerage reports which are really well written. There are some where it is more about just few numbers. But my suggestion would be try to pick some of the brokerage report, read it, and consume what is required, and leave the price targets and all. So Trendlyne again does a very good job in bringing all these brokerage reports together. And let us see where we can access it. So let us say I'm interested in ICICI Lombard brokerage reports. So I click on ICICI Lombard. And if you see, this is the page for ICICI Lombard, and here you have reports. So when you go and click on reports and you come down, you see HDFC Securities has written brokerage report, ICICI Securities, GeoG. There are so many brokerage reports here available. And if you want to read them, you can go and you can click on this PDF. And once you click on the PDF, you have this brokerage report available, and then you can go read, get a sense of business, and see it's so, you don't need to search 1,000 places. Everything is there available in one place in a chronological order. If you want to understand, the other beauty of this is, instead of this, if you want to know what all reports HDFC Securities is publishing, so instead of this, you go and click on HDFC Securities. So when you click on HDFC Securities, what happens is all the reports in chronological order which HDFC Securities has published, you can go and you can read it. So if there is a brokerage house you really like and you appreciate the research quality, you can go and you can track all the reports, you can go and you can read it. So these were the 5 features which Trendlyne is provides, and I think the tool is little haywire in terms of lot of things, and it takes little bit of time to skim through, but the functionalities and features are very rich. So if the video is useful, do like the video. It helps us to get into YouTube algorithms and reach out to more people. Also, if you have not subscribed, do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you can get all the updates. Also, if you want to make me video on the rest 5 features of Trendlyne, do let me know by typing yes in the description box, and I will create one more video for you covering all those features. And I will see you soon with another video.